we really wanted to portray how somebody actually can trust a narcissist and fall in love with a narcissist and become dependent of a narcissist. Because it's so easy to say later on in the relationship, oh, you should have known from the very beginning. But in the beginning, these relationships are great.
They don't really understand. They could be also a target for narcissists, and it could happen to anyone, no matter how educated you are, how rich you are, how intelligent you are, how smart you are. It could happen to everyone.
The body is aware of it as danger, but the mind experiences it as confusion. So you go back to the abuser trying to clarify the confusion, which is the very person who's putting you in danger. Survivors get so much pushback about being in a toxic or narcissistic relationship. Frequently, they hear why they should have just left. What was wrong with them? Something must be wrong with their personality that they would stay for so long. Which is why I'm so thrilled to introduce to you Ali and Stefanie Schmahl, who is the producer as well as the director, and Stephanie is the actress in the movie I Love You My Narcissist, which portrays narcissism at multiple levels, not only between romantic relationships, but also in the family and institutions. So let's learn more why they created this amazing film.
What does a healthy relationship look like?
We can take up hobbies together, like creating pottery pieces.
Pottery?
The sound of a kiss. It starts so happy and loving, and you receive all this validation.
Marry me, Michael. Marry me. Sarah, you look so beautiful.
I'm auditioning for a big role in a feature film.
I've directed over 50,000 auditions, but when a unicorn comes along, my focus shortens.
This connection seems a bit murky. No, it's not. This is everything I've ever wanted.
We'll often fight for the thing we want to be true,
but it was just so perfect.
which often means ignoring many signs that are uncomfortable.
You barely know this guy.
I'll do whatever it takes. Honey, do you love me as much as I love you?
Yes, I do love you. You can trust me.
Narcissists get really, really good at seeking out victims.
This could happen to anyone, and anyone out there who thinks this can't happen to them, then they're the next one in line.
I'm so excited today to be interviewing Ali and Stefanie Schmahl. I got aware of both of you when I was reached out around the movie you guys are coming out soon that I got to be an expert in, called I Love You My Narcissist. And I thought that was a really novel idea. I was almost a little scared about the idea. It seems so kind of different. So I'd love to hear how the idea got generated and how you kind of moved it forward, because it is a very different way of doing a movie.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of a long process to get to the vision for this film. Originally, we just wanted to do a pure documentary, meaning we find some experts that we feel like they have the right expertise for the topic, bring them all together, bring them all to Berlin, because we're located with our company in Berlin, and interview them, maybe interview some survivors, which we actually did for this film also. And then we thought, what could we do to create something new, something more excited that hasn't been done? And that's kind of where Ali then came in and had a great idea. Do you want to take over?
Yeah. For me, the very first idea, as Stefanie already said, it was also because my personal experience in my family is also a decision making option for me to take on this project. And Stefanie came up with the idea, hey, let's make a film about narcissism, but this time, and instead of putting focus on the narcissists themselves, we put focus on the survivors. So we can reveal some red flags, some structural behaviors and stuff like this. And then, we came up with the idea. And after a while, after we took the idea out for 1, 2, 3 months or so, because we didn't want to make a documentary for YouTube or just for social media about the film, because with that we might not be able to reach as much audience as possible. I came up with the idea of making a hybrid genre film, a docu-fiction, where we have documentary parts with the real experts, and we have fictional stories that are based on true events and real stories, and we possibly mix them together. So at the end we get the best outcome for the film. So we also could connect better to the audience and make it more believable, make it more touchable for the audience. So then after that, we decided to come up with the stories. We got 2 real stories that are already happening right now. They are still ongoing. And then at the same time, we interviewed around 15 people, survivors of narcissistic abuse. They were so generous to share their story with us in a very, let's say, trustworthy base that we don't share with anyone, but we could use those elements into the film. And we took those 2 real stories, and we put these 15 survivors' real life experiences in from different parts, from different situations, into the main film and main story of the film. And we could make I Love You My Narcissist.
It hit me when you were saying all of that you're right. The protagonists are the survivors, not the narcissist. And I was thinking back of all the films or movies that I've watched, thinking, for example, Succession, which is a family of narcissists, or there's a lot of other movies that usually it takes from the protagonist, even though they're really the antagonist, is usually the bad guy or the bad person, and then we get it through their lens. So that's fascinating. What made you decide to take that view?
I mean, that was clear for us from the very beginning, that we wanted to tell the survivor story and not the narcissist story, because we really wanted to portray how somebody actually can trust a narcissist and fall in love with a narcissist and become dependent of a narcissist. Because it's so easy to say later on in the relationship, oh, you should have known from the very beginning. But in the beginning, these relationships are great. There's so many nice things that the narcissist does for you. That's what we wanted to portray in the film. The beginning is so perfect and you feel so loved, and then it's easy to fall in love and fall into the trap. And that was our main focus.
Yeah, and as you said, Dr. Kerry, there are a lot of films out there where the narcissists are the protagonists, let's say, and the narcissism itself is shown very superficial, very superficial, and people actually think that they are the good characters, and they like them, although they are the bad guys, and they are making the life of the survivors to hell. That's right. And with our company, we want to tell stories that are socially relevant and socially critical. So we don't want to help the narcissism to be more in focus. So we talked about it, that we come up with the idea to put the survivors into the focus.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how often we champion the narcissist. We often walk away from those types of movies finding them charming. Maybe we almost applaud their audacity, their outrageous confidence so we inadvertently then are celebrating them without really realizing that's what we're doing. And what I thought was really powerful about this was that it was such an internal look at the survivor's experience. I mean, I when I read through the script, especially the final one, it was extremely emotionally provoking for me. I mean, it brought me back to like, oh, I know this place. I really know. It captures it so well. Did you find working on the material distressing yourself?
Yeah. For me, working on the material and working on the script itself, it was challenging because at many points I just just remember the situations that I had in my life, and it was somehow tough, and it was hard for me to lose from that situation and thinking of the story that will raise awareness and educate people who are not familiar with narcissistic relationships. And that was very challenging, and that was also not easy to disconnect from the situations that I really had in my life. And during the shooting also, there were some scenes that were triggers for me. And I had to put my director's chair into other room with my monitor and alone. No one else should be there. So I can be by myself and take my time for that particular scene or situation. And that was tough, but challenging. Yeah.
Yeah. How about for you, Stefanie? Because you also play a unique role. I mean, I haven't even stopped to introduce you guys what roles you play, because you were both the producer and also the actress, which meant you were doing double duty there. And Ali, you're the director, but you probably also have other roles as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, as when you talk about it from a producer's standpoint, from an actress's standpoint, I would love to hear what that felt like, what the differences were like for you.
So like during the whole writing process, we were looking obviously at the characters from the outside and trying to portray the most details that we could, which was a challenge in itself because in the film we only have so much time to tell the stories. And then we had so many ideas that we wanted to bring in, and then some we had to throw out just because of the time. And then later on, so I had a clear vision of the characters, also the character that I was playing, Sarah, from the outside. And then when I went into my acting role, I had to look at her from a completely different perspective. Like all the judgment that I had for her, I had to throw out of the window and like find different motivations for her. So that was interesting for me to step into that role, because I think I learned a lot from her as well in like setting my own boundaries and standing up for myself a little bit more. And what I learned throughout this whole process of working on the film and like of the writing process, of the acting process, is I think I'm more aware now about how I want to communicate with people. And I think I got better at reflecting on what I'm doing, what I'm doing, what I'm giving, and what I'm expecting from others, and how I can voice that better.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I know for me, even getting in this whole realm of abuse has forced me to take a hard, long look at how do I communicate my needs, and what do I do when I don't get what I want, when the way that I want them. And because that's really where we step in and hurt people. We start to exploit or manipulate people. Yeah, that's fascinating. You know, I just before I went on this air with you two, did a little clip on cognitive dissonance. I was processing one of the dangers of cognitive dissonance, which is the confusion that survivors feel, which you guys portray so well. I mean, I think that was the part that gripped me, because I found that to be the most agonizing component of my toxic relationship, was the fact that this was a novel idea. I'd never thought of it before, was that the body is aware of it as danger, but the mind experiences it as confusion. So you go back to the abuser trying to clarify the confusion, which is the very person who's putting you in danger, which creates that bind. That's why abusers or survivors go back to the abusers, because they keep thinking they're going to unlock the confusion and then resolve the tension. So there are several points in this script that you did that to the point where it was like almost, to me, feverish pitch. And I thought the pacing was brilliant. How did you figure out how to do that so that it doesn't, because, you know, it's interesting. This movie is quietly moving, but it also at an emotional level it's going way up, very intense, very fast. So how did you kind of manage all of that?
For that, while we were writing the script, we tried to, for every revision, for every rewrite, we tried to put ourselves outside of the production as a very, very strange audience who doesn't know their story, who doesn't know what's going on, but will happen, and really throw and try to understand, okay, this part is very slow, this part is too fast, this part needs more work. So at the end, we could improve that part or those parts. So in a way that the film could possibly connect to the audience in the best possible way. Because for a film, if you make a film and don't connect with the audience, you don't reach what the goal that you have with your film. But if the film connects itself to the audience and the audience connects themselves to the film, you have what you want. And for us, it was very important, and that we can connect the audience and the film together and the stories together, and somehow build up a sense of feeling that the audience, although maybe they don't experience that, or they didn't experience that, also they feel that they could possibly feel the characters and feel their story and say, yeah, okay, I totally understand. Because often the problem is people from outside, they look at those relationships and they say, yeah, okay, it won't happen to me. It's the fault of the person in that relationship. They know better. They could get out of this relationship and so on. And they don't really understand. They could be also a target for narcissists. And it could happen to anyone, no matter how educated you are, how rich you are, how intelligent you are, how smart you are. It could happen to everyone.
And then we also wanted to show that it can look different. The type of abuse can look different. The narcissist can look different. You could be people that fall in love with a narcissist or have another relation to a narcissist, family relation. It can always look different. They can have different jobs, different ages. And then it was super helpful for us that we had so much research, that we had that we were in contact with you guys as our experts to ask questions and look your videos, and have so many people that we could interview and integrate all these details into the stories. I think that helped a lot.
I realize we've jumped into, or almost halfway through the interview, and we haven't really even explained what the movie is. So let's stop for a moment for those who are like, okay, what are they really talking about? So explain what this movie is, because you do a very novel thing. So obviously everybody by now knows it's a movie about narcissistic relationships, but give us a little bit of kind of an overview of it.
Okay. The movie title is I Love You My Narcissist. We have also a shortened version. It says ILYMN. The movie is about two characters that are very self-aware, that are very strong, very self-confident, and they get to meet their partners at the beginning, and they think that they met their soulmates. Nothing better can happen to them. And throughout their story, the narcissists, they start manipulating them. They start confusing them. They start love bombing them. They start gaslighting them. And in that way, after a while, they lose their self-confidence. Because, for example, we have in the story, we have Michael, who is a refugee in Germany and wants to get the residency and asylum claim. And he needs help because the government doesn't accept that. They reject his asylum claim. So he needs help, and he meets Sarah, and they start dating. She gives him a job in her foundation for refugee help. They start dating. And Michael thinks that he met the woman of his dreams. But throughout the story, the traits of the narcissism, they make him to lose his self-confidence because and his personality actually, because Michael writes every day diary in his notebook, and throughout the film, he loses that personality. He starts writing less and less, and at the end, he can't write anymore because he doesn't have any personality there, because he's confused. He doesn't know what to do. And he blames himself the whole time as if he's the problem. It's his own fault that everything is happening right now is going just not right. And the other story, I think Stephanie can tell about the other story. What's going on into the
Yeah,
other
the other story is about Emily, an aspiring actress. She is working on a career for years and hasn't had a big break or big steps in her career. But then she meets a casting director who finally sees something in her and offers her a chance to get roles and position her and help her with her career. And then obviously that excites her because finally she has this chance. And while working with him, she also falls in love with him. And later on, he is taking over more and more of the way she's presenting herself, the way she dresses, the way she talks, who she talks to. And so she's also losing herself within this relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you do another thing is you don't leave it there. You bring in experts who then comment on the storyline, which I thought was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, for that, we talked about it, how we can clarify the situations that are happening in the film, because me personally, before I start doing researches and getting to know more such relationships and these traits, I even didn't know what narcissism is. And after doing the researches and after reading about it, watching your videos with the other experts, I was thinking by myself, oh my God, that's my real life. I live in such life for over 25 years. And I wasn't aware of that at all. I didn't know. And that's what happens to many of survivors. They don't know what they are in right now. But after a while, after they are trauma bonded, after they are trapped into this relationship and doesn't have really a way out, they just realize that's a narcissistic relationship. That's a narcissistic abuse. And then we came up with the idea of having experts also in the film to clarify the situations, to dive deeper into every situation and clarify that so that the audience can understand that better. Because many times you see a situation, you don't realize that, you don't really know what is going on and why. But if the experts clarify that, you just understand, yeah, okay. And it makes you think that if you had that situation in your relationships before, or if you have it right now, or even if you are the one who is doing that, because we got also the feedback from some audience that we did a test screening. They said, I was scared because I thought that I might be one of the narcissists. I don't know yet. And some of them they told us, yeah, many of my relationships were like this, and I'm happy that it doesn't take long to get out of this. After three weeks, 1 month or so, we just ended that relationship. And the experts like you, Dr. Kerry, like the other experts that we have, Dr. Ramani, Lisa Sonni, Danielle Radin, Manjit Choprai, Emma Davy, you are such amazing experts in the field of narcissism, and you are educating people. You are helping survivors and people who are in those relationships to get a better understanding of this topic and possibly find a way to get out of the relationships and to overcome the trauma bonding, because it's also really tough to overcome a trauma bonding in a short time. So they need also help. And then we came up with the idea, we contact you 6 experts and see what comes next, how we can move further. If we could come together, if we can have you in the film. And as soon as you said, yeah, I would like to be in the film, and the other expert as well, we were so excited. We were so happy because we didn't actually expect that you guys say yes.
Oh, you really didn't? You thought we would say no?
I don't know, because it's tough to have really good experts like you in independent projects, because many people, they expect too much from an independent film, and we didn't have that resource. So we hoped for that we can come together and we can make a film that could educate people, that could bring more information to the public. And we didn't really expect that, because as I said, it was we couldn't see that how the outcome is. But after you said yes, we were so excited, we were so happy to have you all, with you, Dr. Kerry, Dr. Ramani, Lisa, Sonni, Danielle, Radin, Manjit Chuprai, Emma Davies, such amazing people in the film. And now we hope for a successful film at the end, so we can raise more awareness and possibly help people to hopefully not fall into those relationships and recognize that before it happens.
Yeah. Well, and more than that, you guys got people to donate their time and their energy, which is, I bet you that floored you to think about how much passion was behind this idea. Because I don't know if you guys realized how invested so many of us are in this, and that it was so exciting to be a part of this project. Yeah. So one of the things I was thinking about as we were talking is that it is so hard to get people to appreciate the survivor's viewpoint. We immediately become defensive and critical of their experience. But what I loved is that not only did you drag us into their personal experiences, but that then you're using the power of the theater, of the contagion of being in an audience, to where we can feed off of each other to heighten the experience. I don't know if you were aware of that. Was that any part of your conscious thinking to say, because what I felt like is you heightened the empathy of the viewer through the experience of the storytelling, but also the experience of experiencing in a group experience of the storytelling. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we want to do with our productions in general, that we want to bridge the gap between different perspectives. Because I think that's what the art should do, like creating empathy for different lifestyles and different experiences. And ideally, we want people to go out of this film and have conversations about this, about how they relate to certain topics, what they think about certain topics, and get closer to other perspectives.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And I do know that tension. In fact, I just had a live where I was talking about narcissistic moms, and a mother in that audience said, "You just described me. I'm a narcissistic mom. How do I stop?" And it's powerful when people can recognize themselves either as the survivor or as the abuser, which then, thank goodness, creates change, an opportunity for real transformation. So what's your ultimate goal for this? I mean, maybe, I don't know if that's too big of a question, but yeah, did you have sort of a hope for this? What would happen? Maybe not just with the success of the movie, but also what the consequence of the success of the movie is?
Yeah, we hope for as you said, we hope for a successful theatrical run, limited theatrical run at the beginning, and after that, we hope for a successful streaming run, and we hope for it that this film makes people think about themselves, about their relationships, about their possible future relationships, so they could recognize the red flags before they get stuck in those relationships. Really hope for that, because if someone is in a narcissistic family, so it's not their choice, but hopefully they might be able to find a way to get out of this. And for the people who find partners and they think that the partners are soulmates or the best possible person in this world, hopefully this film could help them to make the best possible decision, and don't go for it blindsided and just go into it and see what comes next. Hopefully that's our goal with this film, because if let's say this way, if we reach, for example, 10,000 people worldwide, and these 10,000 people could possibly find a way and not fall into such relationships or get out of such relationships. That's more satisfying for us than having 10 million viewers who just watch the film and say, yeah, okay, that's it. Done.
Yeah. You want to be more than just a good evening of entertainment, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I also want to add that we would like people to go out of this film and also consider where they could probably stand up for themselves more and set clearer boundaries on how to communicate them. Because I think that's always a process, like that's something that's always developing. Where's the line?
Yeah.
Where are my boundaries? And I think a lot of times we just go through life without thinking about it, and this could be more thought of more often. And then also, it would be nice if people go out of the film and think also about their responsibility in their relationships, or also at their workplaces, for example, if they deal with institutions, for example, like we have in the film, but also, for example, if there's some kind of power dynamic, for example, if they're a teacher, that they're more aware of what's happening to other people around them, that they have like living realities that they haven't been aware of before.
Yeah. Because the other thing we didn't mention is that this film shows multiple narcissistic relationships at multiple levels. Like you said, institutional, familial, and also both sexes. You have both a male as well as a female narcissist portrayed in it. So thank you so much for this. I would love to jump over to the podcast extra and talk about the art of filmmaking and what goes into it, from just to sort of, for people who are curious what the process is like. Because I don't know, for me, getting to view the back end of it, I was like overwhelmed. I mean, this is a massive machine with so many moving parts. So I'd love to kind of break that down with you. But how can people find out more about I Love You My Narcissist movie?
To find out more about I Love You My Narcissist movie, there is a link where people can visit and also pre-register for the watch party, because the film will be out soon, in a couple of months, and we will send out an email to the people who pre-register for the watch party, so they would be the first ones to watch the film before everyone else. That's also a bonus that we give to people who support us from the very beginning, where we are not yet ready for the release. And there is also the film has also a website, and also on TikTok and Instagram we have also a profile there where people can visit the film and get more information. It's called ILYMN.film. It's also the website is also the same. If they type in their browser ILYMN.film, they will see a website, and yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. It's really wonderful. I so enjoyed working with the both of you, and it's been a privilege to be a part of this project. So thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's 2 a.m. again, and you're replaying that whole conversation over, and you're wondering yourself, was it really that bad, or maybe I'm just being dramatic? So you start to draft that I'm sorry text again, because the guilt that you're feeling or the confusion you're experiencing is just unbearable. And you know this loop because you've been there before, but I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm Dr. Kerry McAvoy. I'm a retired psychologist, and for 25 years, I've been helping people untangle exactly what toxic relationships do to your mind, how they create the confusion, the self-doubt, and that trauma bond that keeps pulling you back in. Here's the truth. Recovery isn't about getting more information. It's about having the right support in the exact moment you need it. That's why I've created ReclaimYou. It's a private, always available coaching app built from my work and my content, organized into an extensive library that you can actually use when you're triggered. Inside it, you'll get 5-minute lessons when your brain can't handle a deep dive, check-ins that meet you exactly where you are, whether you're feeling strong, shattered, or numb, boundary scripts that help you say no without over-explaining, grounding tools that work fast when you're activated, and progress tracking so you can see proof you're healing even on days when it feels like you're not. There's no appointments, no waiting, no judgment, just practical support right when you need it. ReclaimYou, real help in real time, right in your pocket. And it's a coaching support, not therapy or emergency care. Learn more at studio.com/Dr. Kerry, So start your healing today and reclaim you.